Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Britton's Social Club. This is a show where we hang out after a wild week in the work week. I hope everyone's doing well. Sorry I'm a little late. It's been kind of crazy. I'm home by myself, so I've been kind of juggling all that stuff around. But yeah, anyway, hopefully everyone's doing well. Glad to be here. Uh, Kind of unsure if to do this today because I don't know if anyone's going to show up, but hopefully people will, and hopefully people will start coming in soon. So, yeah. Hello. So, yes, hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good. So, yeah, I am alone here at my house. Well, I'm with my dog. My dog's sitting over there because I'm watching after, and my cat's somewhere around. The August Miss Jerry is somewhere around. Hello, Jay. How are you doing? How you doing? Tharnall's here, and um, John's here. Show us your dog, Okie dude. Well, she's over there. I don't know if she wants to come up real at the moment. Okay, come here, Alexis. Come here, Alexis. Come here. Here she is. This is Alexis. See a little schnauzer. Yes. Yes. You might recognize the dog breed if you watch Steve Donahue's channel because he has a schnauzer named Frida. So, yeah, I don't know. But yes, glad to be here. Just hanging out after a very crazy afternoon. So, yeah, hello, pup. Now she's like, "Oh, what do you want? You want to do anything?" Thank you. Yes, they like you, Alexi. Yes, they do. Yes. Anyway, so how's everyone doing? Jay, I thought I saw you on or maybe not on Philip Chase's channel. I thought you had Philip Chase on the other day talking about Lonesome Dove of all books, or not Lonesome Dove. I'm thinking along my friend Mike just did a review of Lonesome Dove. No, Gorman Guest. Why do you think of Lonesome Dove? Beware of ticks. We don't really get ticks out here. I hope you don't have ticks. That would not be good. No, we look after her. She does good. Aha! Yes, I thought I saw that. But yeah, no, I actually had Philip on my channel not too long ago as well. We were talking about While Darkness Gathers, which was a good book. Speaking of that, what's everyone reading at the moment? I am reading some stuff. So I finished Everybody Knows by Jordan Harper, which was a very good book. I recommend it. I am hoping to start Live by Night from Dennis Lehane this evening. I am also reading Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson, which, if I could describe it, it's kind of like the Martian Chronicles, but it's more realistic, more grounded in scientific principles. More a book I appreciate than like really enjoy. It's kind of I call it vegetable literature. So yeah, there you go. Overall a good book though, very thoughtful, very deliberate piece of science fiction. So good stuff there. I'm reading The Invisibles still. That's my reread. I'm rereading The Invisibles, and I am still reading Starman by James Robinson. So yeah, I'm doing a lot. I'm juggling a lot at the moment. I was thinking of maybe sneaking in a short book, but I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be possible. So there you go on that. Which yes, yes, Jay and I are going to be reading Flannery O'Connor short stories together. So that's going to be fun. Maybe get my friend Jason in on it because he really enjoyed The Violent Bear It Away, I think is what her novel's called. So I might get him involved because he was looking forward to he really liked Flannery O'Connor, which that's, good. Yes. Yes. Um yeah, no, I have the complete works over there. I haven't picked it up yet. I'm probably going to start in September. That's my plan anyway. So, I can't believe September's already creeping up on us. We got about a little more than a month before we get up on that. Oh, here comes Pup on my Jimmy Buffett pillow. Well, it used to be a shirt of my dad's, but but yeah, it's gonna be fun. I thought Jay might enjoy it because apparently it's very well, he's a Lutheran, but it's very Christian slash Catholic inspired. So I thought Jay would like that. Uh They're already selling Halloween stuff. Oh Lord, yeah, they're always ready for that. It's always Christmas stuff out here that they're selling. Um, so yeah. Uh Guess he's talking about Discovery, which is a good book. I really love that little first bit. I think that's just a really great piece of storytelling. The rest of it is good. Um, but it didn't really grab me quite as deeply as that first part of it did. I did do a discussion with the Mittens about it about a year ago. So if you guys want to watch that, you can go find it on my channel or just look up Discovery Some Okie Dude and you'll find it. So yeah. Yeah, it's a good book. Talks a lot about, hey, what if Cthulhu was real, basically? Like a lot of people are always like, oh, it's kind of hard to describe it. I'm like, well, it's not that hard. It's just like, oh, what if Cthulhu was real? How would the world react to it? And I mean, they don't call it Cthulhu in the novel, but it's basically Cthulhu. Like if you're familiar with like Lovecraftian lore and like the stories, then you're like, yeah, it's Cthulhu. But I don't know, Tharnal. I hope Cthulhu doesn't exist. Though there was an episode of Love, Death, and Robots about Cthulhu. That was pretty fun. Well, I don't know why John is really into dropping ticks on people, but whatever's caught it, whatever catches your fancy, I guess. I don't believe in Phil Gates and Bill Gates. Sorry, I said Phil. Yeah, I haven't been sleeping well the last couple nights, so that's uh Hello, Daniel. How are you doing? How's Bex doing? I know she's been having kind of a rough time as of late. Apparently, Alan's having a stream as well in a little bit. I don't know when that's happening. Maybe it's happening. I don't know. Oh, hello there, Shikan. How you doing, man? I'm glad to see you here. I hope the world. I know the World Cup is kind of, taking everyone's time. The other day, which I don't really like soccer slash football. Oh, is she? Oh, okay. That's good. I also Raph got 2,000 subs, so go congratulate him. He's great. It's always nice to see people get. Oh, hello, Bex. How are you? Anyway, why do I? No, I wanted to click on Goodreads because someone might recommend me something. Anyway, hello, Mac. You see, I had a feeling that it wouldn't be bad. I would have seen it this weekend, but my parents went to the lake, and I usually see films with my dad, so that would just be kind of it wouldn't be fun. Oh, sorry. So yeah, I enjoy. I enjoyed. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a good movie. I mean, Christopher Nolan knows what he's doing, at least for the most part. I don't know what Tenet was, but I'll put that as an exception to the rule. What comics do you want to read after finishing Starman? I don't know if I'm even going to finish Starman this year because it's a pretty lengthy run, but there's a couple comics. I have some Batman comics up there. I got Batman and Robin Year One. I'm hoping to read. Um, I'm hoping to read this comic called Everything Dead and Dying, which kind of makes me think of Jeff Lemire a little bit. Even though Jeff Lemire didn't write it. Some other Batman. I'm hoping to read Batman Dark Patterns because everyone's been really into that. Also more Grant Morrison comics, of course. I'm gonna be, I'm doing the Morrison-a-thon still. I did do a review of his JLA run recently, which I'm very pleased with that video. Well, actually, not really. I'm pleased with the review. The video, I kind of well, I don't want to scare y'all away from it. It's a good video, but I think I could have done it better. But yeah, got a couple comics I hope to read before too long. Yeah, I did hear that Odysseus doesn't go ha he doesn't say his name's No Man to um Polyphemus because that's like probably my favorite part of the whole thing, and Nolan didn't do it, or allegedly. I want to see the film for myself before I ream Nolan. But hello Kale, how you doing? How about that? He doesn't like a lot of things. Evie said that she saw Marlon James talk, which is where she got my signed copies of Black Leopard, Red Wolf, and Moon Witch, Spider King, but she didn't say what it was. He was kind of talking about it, but he is putting out a new book called The Disappearers. So I mean that's pretty cool. Though I'm kind of upset that he's not doing the the third Dark Star book because I want to see the last. I want to see not necessarily how it ends because we know how it ends because the first two books tell us how it ends, but I want to see him square the circle. I want to see how he does it. So I mean, Anne Hathaway, can't really go wrong with her. I'm not just saying that because I find her super attractive, but she's also a very good actress. So there's that too. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Odyssey. I'm actually going to do a review of the Odyssey this week. So that's going to be fun. Um so yeah, I'm probably going to write it for Goodreads sometime later today after I'm done here. So, it should be fun. Anyway, yeah, I mean, no one's really the good guy in the Odyssey. I mean, like even Odysseus has his moments where he's kind of an asshole. Like he's like, there's that moment where he's chilling out and like pretending to be a homeless person, and his like maid lady um starts getting mad and he calls her a bitch. So yeah, not a nice man, but I'll talk about that. I think it's interesting how that's kind of evolved. Yeah, everyone was freaking out about Elliot Page possibly being Achilles, and then it turned out uh he was the guy's cousin instead. So, there you go on that. Hold on. Damn, it is literally almost 3 hours. Good lord. Let me see. They confirm it? Oh yeah, Sinon. Y- that guy, this guy here. That's who Elliot Page plays, which is fine. Does Achilles even appear in this movie? Mac, does Achilles make an appearance in this film at all? Or is he just kind of rubbed out of the film? Because, I mean, he's not really in the Odyssey all that much, except for the underworld part. I've been wanting to read those Pat Barker books. I just, because they actually sounded really cool. And I have some friends. Um, Max says, no, he does not. Wow. Okay. All right. I didn't see him on the Wikipedia page, but, Wikipedia is not always the most reliable source of information. That would have been kind of interesting if Elliot Page played Achilles, because it's kind of what Raph was saying. He does kind of disguise himself as a woman at one part in the Iliad, so that would kind of, that would be fitting, but didn't happen. It was kind of funny how everyone was freaking out about that, and it's just, yeah. Hello, Liam. How are you? Glad to see you here. Oh man. Yeah, they speak in like modern American accents. I'm like, why? Why would you do that? It was funny. My friend Alex was sending me some stuff from Troy, which I won't pretend um I won't pretend that Troy is an amazing film. I think it's quite silly at points, but it is a pretty solid adaptation of the Iliad. Um it's basically just uh mm, mm, mm. Yeah, and the song "Everything in Its Right Place" was there, so it's fun times. Yeah, where Brad Pitt plays Achilles and actually doesn't do a bad job. Like, it's not a terrible movie. I just think it's kind of silly. I mean, though Brian Cox is in it and he's great as Agamemnon. So, yeah. I didn't. My parents did because I just don't like soccer. I think it's boring as hell. But it was kind of fun seeing all these people really falling in love with America. These like British people and all sorts of different people. But yeah, no, I'm not really watching it at the moment because again, not really into soccer. Yeah, my aunt went on a giant tirade last night about how their media was ranting about how, or was talking about how America was so bad, and then America's actually not that bad. I mean, our government is a complete clown show, but America itself is pretty nice. I mean, I live here and I haven't seen any mass shootings or anything, so I'm quite fortunate in that regard. Huh? Interesting. All right. Yeah, I heard Travis Scott's in it. He kind of plays like a bard, which a lot of people were crapping on. I'm just like, who gives a shit about this? I mean, look, I get it. I know it's kind of meant to be like historically. I know it is based on a historical society, but it is a fantasy story with monsters and stuff like that. Well said, John. Didn't know you had it in you. I'm just kidding, of course. Yeah, America's not very popular right now. I mean, Donald Trump and all that. I, I mean, I don't really like Donald Trump either. Yes, there's my dog, Alexis. She likes to lay on this pillow when I'm just sitting around. That's good to hear. I didn't think it was going to be bad because again, Christopher Nolan is good at his job. Um, but Matt Damon wouldn't have probably been my choice for Odysseus, but yeah. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Travis Scott. I don't know why they got him. I would have gotten like Kendrick Lamar because he actually writes good lyrics. But it's alas. Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody actually likes Trump. Even the people who are like fans of his, they don't actually like him. They just like that he's disrupting the system. They don't like Donald Trump. Okay, nobody freaking likes Donald Trump. I don't think so. I mean, maybe his family does, but I don't think a lot. I don't think very many people actually like Donald Trump as a personality. But no, I like Matt Damon. I just I don't know if I'd have picked him though to play Odysseus. But I like Matt Damon. He's great in Good Will Hunting. He's really good in um he's very good in the Bourne movies. Oh man. Oh no. Because the writer didn't want Spider-Man to save Trump. I don't know. I thought a long time ago that Joe Biden would be the dumbest president, or not the dumbest president, but like the dumbest person I've ever seen in the Oval Office, near the Oval Office. Um, but I keep being surprised. So, not that George W. Bush was much better in that regard, but then Trump showed up, and you're just like, oh man, this sucks. But I don't want to turn this into another Trump rant stream because I don't think you guys want to see that. Well, maybe some of you do, but I don't want to do that. I feel like there are people who do it much better than I would. I was growing up during the Bush era, so I do have some vague memories of him, but that was before I kind of got. The first time I really was kind of paying attention to politics is when like Obama got elected, and I remember that day. A lot of people we had to kind of we had to like we were put into like the library or something, and we had to watch like the inauguration. It was like this big historical event, which it was. He's the first black president, but Yeah, just kind of crazy. I do remember that. I ain't got a dollar. Well, I ain't got a dime. Watch old videos of Biden and Trump. They were both articulate once upon a time. Yeah, no, they're just old. We need some young blood in the Oval Office. I know a lot of people like Gavin Newsom at the moment, and um, what's the dude's name? Mamdani. Um, I don't know. I don't like Newsom. It's just there's a vacancy in his eyes. I don't like it. Honestly, if someone tried to write a novel about Trump, like I don't think anyone would buy it. They'd say no, this guy would be arrested and thrown out of the country. And it's like no, I will say I am glad. Is Mom Donnie from here? I have no idea where she's at. Oh, he's from Uganda. I see. I see. Well, I'm glad he's not gonna be president anytime soon because I don't really like Mom Donnie's ideas of centralizing power, which is kind of much of the reason we're in this situation. But I do not know where Raph is. Yeah, no, I just saw he was born in Uganda, so he couldn't be president even if he wanted to. So there you go. But I did see an old interview of Trump, and he was reasonably articulate. Like he wasn't like what he is now, where he's just like throwing word salad. It's like he was coherent. It's kind of weird how that all works. I don't know where Raph or Ida are because I guess they've been busy. I don't know where he's at. Also, where's Ori at? He's usually here. Yeah, but Trump's pretty like particular. I mean, at least like you could understand what Joe Biden's saying, even though he's super old and oh, there he is. Hey, Ori, how you doing? Well, I saw you shared the Nicholas Boggs book about James Baldwin, which I thought about I thought about picking up and reading, but I have so many books I'm reading and so many books I hope to read before the end of the year. It's yeah, it's a lot, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to all of them, but I'll do my best. Yes, I've been. Yeah, no, Rap's gotten too big for me. He's got 2,000 subscribers while I'm only at a measly 803 last I checked anyway. Well, yeah, he was super old, to be honest. I mean, Trump is too, but Trump's just weird. Like if you watch like his interviews, you're just like, God, this guy is just he's unbelievable. I don't understand. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Yeah, they're just getting older and older. they're just getting older and older as time comes on. Yep, 803. Um, oh, I got 2 likes on the Morrison-a-thon video, so thank you to the people. And don't get me wrong, I love those 300, or I love those 803 subscribers. I don't know what I would do without them. Good luck with that, Jay. Give Jay a look. He's got some good stuff on his channel. How's that Mars novel? Do you like it? Yeah, I do. It's one of those books I more appreciate than I enjoy personally, but it's good. It's well written and thoughtful, you know, very plausible scientifically. While also still having humanity in it. That's kind of a gripe I have with science fiction sometimes. It gets too stuck with the ideas. Gets a little too in depth with the ideas. But, now we're here. But I think Robinson balances it pretty well. I mean, it's no Martian Chronicles, but what is? You can't really beat Ray Bradbury, unfortunately. Funnily enough, my friend Jason just read Dandelion Wine, which I've not read actually, but you know, I'm sure it's good because it's Ray Bradbury. You can't really go wrong with him. Halloween Tree, I've not read that one either, though I know that one's kind of I think that one's similar to Something Wicked This Way Comes. I could be wrong on that. It's good. It's a good book. Something Wicked This Way Comes anyway. I actually like it more than Fahrenheit 451, which might be controversial for some people because I know a lot of people love that book. But no, I think Something Wicked This Way Comes is just better. Yeah, it sounds like something Bradbury would do. Be right back real quick. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just my friend Joseph Logsdon just put out a new video talking about who is Joseph V. Logsdon. So I'll have to watch that later. Oh, and Shakant, who was just here not too long ago, just made a video as well. So I'm gonna have to watch that as well. It's already cranking out videos. Too many people. Oh man. See Willow back when Willow was a dude. Yeah, no, I've heard it's actually really good, and yeah. 65 minutes into the World Cup final and no score yet. Yeah, that's about right. Sounds about right. Oh yeah, I did read The Human Target on Friday from Tom King. That was a freaking great book. Might be his best book since Mr. Miracle. I really do think so. Um Boys Hiatus is always good. It'd be a very intense series. Well, I will be doing my spoopathon, so I'll be reading a bunch of horror stuff during the month. So Everything Dead and Dying, and also hoping to read Laird Barron's. I think it's Occultations. I think is what it's called, and also there's this novel about slavery. I'm probably gonna read. So those books. So yeah, yes, there are horror plans for Halloween. Yes, this is true. This is true. Oh, we got a guest in here. Old friend of mine got in here. Jason, how you doing, Jason? I was actually talking about you earlier.
Man.
I was telling people I might bring you in on the Flannery O'Connor thing in September.
Oh, you
So,
might if I'm lucky enough.
well, if you're like down, if you're gonna read it,
Yeah.
because I know you
I
read
just
super
I just
slow.
bought her whole collection.
You read really slow, so I try to be
Wait,
thoughtful about
what?
that.
I read really slow.
I
Come
did see you
on,
did a
man.
review of Flowers for Algernon recently. I'll have to watch that.
I did.
I'll probably agree with you because I think that book can be a rather sappy, even though it's.
It's it's one of you know sometimes you read a book and you're like, I can get how people are going to be or feel a certain way, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel that way. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
feel about that book.
Yeah.
Like I can read that book. It's done really well structurally. Characterization's good. It just didn't like get under my skin like I hoped in a good way. You know, whereas I feel like a lot of people it did. A lot of people like they cry. They cried reading that book, or it really emotionally affected them. But not I, unfortunately. But it's still good. It's still a solid read.
But yeah, you like the Violent Bear Away, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I thought that was great. It had kind of a sketchy start, a bumpy start, but once it got into it, yeah, it's great. So that's why I bought her, basically full collection of everything she's written in one volume because I was so impressed by it. Let's say.
Yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to reading her short stories. You know, um, I don't know about that. I don't really like the public education system in the United States, but it is what it is. When I have kids, I might just homeschool them because I'm like I don't want to put them through that experience. Homeschooling's becoming pretty popular, actually. Like it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
The faith in our institutions are just so bad now. It's like, yeah, forget it. We're doing homeschooling.
Well, I think that it has to do more with probably what they're teaching or not teaching in schools versus
Mm-hmm.
anything else. And a lot of people want to raise their kids how they want to raise them, and I hate to use the indoctrinated word, but a lot of people think their kids are being indoctrinated in certain ways that go counter to what they believe, and so yeah.
It's like, yeah, the woke agenda. I'm just like, oh man, oh god.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah, I was talking about the Odyssey earlier because the new film came out. And I'm gonna be doing a
Oh,
review of it
man.
soon.
You've seen it?
I've not. No, probably going. I would have this weekend, but my parents are out of town. I usually see stuff with my dad.
I'm gonna wait for digital to see it if I do see
Yeah, it's
it.
good. I mean, that's a good idea,
I'm
probably.
I'm definitely not. So, here's the thing with me, when I watched the trailer the first time, so trailers are designed to get you hyped, right?
Yeah, to
Would you agree?
entice you. Yes, yes, I would
So when
agree
I
with
watched the
this.
trailer, I was like, This is it? This is the epic Odyssey made by one of the most spectacle heavy directors of our time? Okay, crap. Holy crap. And so, because the other time that happened is when I saw The Northman.
Oh yeah,
I watched the trailer, loved the director, saw the trailer, and I'm like, ugh, something is sitting wrong with me. And then I go and see the film, and I made a video review about it years
yeah,
ago, and
I
how
remember. Yeah,
I hated that movie. And so that's why I think I'm gonna sit this one out in terms of like
yeah. It's
spending
definitely is.
spending my
It's
money.
definitely Eggers' weakest film.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I was just kind of like, ah, like it kind of not really is not really my thing. I like Vikings and Norse stuff. I don't know what happened there. I still need
I
to see
think,
Nosferatu. Speaking of Robert Eggers.
that one was alright. So I think Eggers' problem is he got so wrapped up in the authenticity, historically, of the Northmen, and I think to a degree, Nosferatu, where he kind of forgot his way in terms of like, "Hey, I'm just trying to tell a good story here." Because sometimes it's almost like when you don't know things, you're allowed to, be more free with your storytelling. Whereas it seems like he got so So like tied up with like, oh, I got to make this authentic. I got to make this true to X, and therefore he lost his way. Like, I mean, I remember on the Northman he was talking about the actual threads they were using to make the tunics and stuff had to be a certain kind of thing. You know, it's like that's to me forest for the trees syndrome, unfortunately. So I think that's partially what happened. Because he's a good storyteller. I was shocked, you know, when I saw it. But that's me.
My favorite's still The Witch, but that's because I like Puritans, so
No, which
partly
is great.
unbiased there.
Yeah, again, that it's funny because if you listen to him
I
now
also love
in
The
interviews,
Lighthouse.
yeah, The Lighthouse is great. Again, another story that doesn't need to be authentic really to anybody because it's this weird fever dream, psychosis, black and white, weird thing, you
Sea
know?
Dog
So
film, yeah.
yeah, it's great. It's freaking weird and it's great.
It's
My favorite thing
also
about
homoerotic as well, you know. Or at
I
least I kind
mean,
of read into it, homoeroticism, but
yeah,
you know.
I guess, you might be the guy to read into that apparently.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's
Not
me. I
making
always,
any
I always, I
assumptions.
always, always read into the homoeroticism of stories. Maybe it's inevitable when it's two dudes alone. I don't know. Maybe I'm just. And it's funny. Every New Year's, I have crab of my parents because I'll just get some and make it. I'll send a message to my friend, mimicking the Lighthouse movie. So it's pretty
Hmm.
fun. No,
Yeah,
but
it's good stuff.
what are you reading at the moment, Jason?
I'm actually reading 2 books right now. So, Dean Koontz's Intensity, because as you know, every month I have my viewers, choose a book.
Oh man, Dean Koontz.
I know, it's kind of surprising, but I'm surprisingly enjoying it. I
Oh,
read it when I
well,
was 20,
he's like
and,
poor man Stephen King, dude.
I mean, to a degree. The funny thing is,
Or
so
Stephen King is rich man's Dean Koontz, depending on what you think. I don't know.
yeah. Well, funny enough, because Dean Koontz is richer than Stephen King, so that's
Ha!
that's kind of a funny. According to Google, he sold over 500 million copies of his books, which is pretty
Yeah,
nuts.
Stephen King's just like seething in jealousy over there in Maine.
No, it's funny because I was reading it. So Carol Wainwright actually suggested it. It's
Mm.
his favorite Dean Koontz book, and so I kind of went into it from like a nostalgia in a nostalgic way. I didn't remember anything about the story. Started reading it. It's terribly overwritten in many ways. You're like kind of rolling your eyes. There's
But
certain
wait, you're
passages,
enjoying it though.
but I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, this," you know how, like, when you watch a bad movie from, like,
Oh
your
yeah.
childhood? It's
Uh-huh.
kinda like that, but
Oh
then
yeah.
the more I got into it, I started appreciating. I was like, "Okay, I'm actually kinda hooked, I think, more than just the terrible goofiness of it." And there's this crazy scene, so if you guys don't know who are watching, it's about this killer. He's going around, he has kind of a god complex. He has kind of this weird philosophy. Does this sound familiar? Kind of like Anton Chigurh in a way, right? From No Country. And there's even a convenience store scene
Oh
where
man.
he goes in, but get this. This book came out before No Country for Old
How's
Men.
that work?
It predates it by 10 years.
That's crazy.
So what's wild is like, so when I'm reading it,
Just like Cormac one day just found that book and
yeah,
like,
he
this is
found
dumb
Dean
as hell.
Koontz
I'm
and he's
gonna do
like,
my better.
I'm gonna.
I can do this better.
No, it's yeah, of course, No Country's version is much better than what's in the book in Intensity. But I found it funny because when I was reading it, I'm like, oh man, Koontz must have read No Country and tried to do his own spin. And then I look up publication dates, and I was like, wait, Cormac wrote this later. Holy crap. So it was kind of a funny thing. I'll probably talk about it in my review, but I find it so I think that's probably why Carol Wainwright is attracted to it because this killer has like
He
he has a
has
philosophy.
interesting taste in literature. Like he reviewed Ted Kaczynski's manifesto one time. I'm like, what? That was so bizarre. And then he did the Turner Diaries, which is like illegal. It's like, damn, dude. No, but yeah, but he likes the philosophy. I see.
Yeah, I think that's what he draw. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but like reading it, I'm thinking, why would he like this book? And when I got to that moment, I was like, okay, maybe this is part of the reason. So I'm only about a quarter of the way into it, so we'll see. But I'm also reading Mr. Be Gone by Clive Barker because that was another book that was really close to winning the poll. And I read that also way back when it came out. Had no memory of it other than it's about a demon trapped in a book, right?
Yeah,
It's
Barker's always weird.
yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like it's as if Terry Pratchett wrote a horror story. That's kind of how I feel about it. It's
Okay.
kind of goofy. Like it is bloody, it is crude. There is some grotesque things in
Is
it,
there BDSM
but
stuff in it?
not yet. But like
Not yet.
there's this weird levity, this weird comedic levity to the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
So almost like a like a black
I
comedy.
like that answer.
Yeah, not yet. We'll see.
I've only
It's
read the Hellbound Heart from him, and that was an
oh
experience.
really? I
Yeah.
actually read at the beginning of the month I read the Books of Blood Volume 1 and really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I
I know
was
that's kind of his magnum. That's the one everyone kind of remembers fondly.
well, the weird thing about Clive Barker is he just like spit out 6 volumes, novel length volumes, right? Of
Uh-huh.
these horror short stories in the course of I think 2 or 3 years. So he like
Damn.
basically, for lack of a better term, blew his load on horror early on. And then he got famous for that, right? And then he kind of turned around and started doing what he calls the fantastique, right? Which is
Uh-huh,
more
yeah.
like
Did like a
fantasy, but there's
Magica and stuff.
yeah, Magica and all that. And so yeah, it's really weird.
I've wanted to read his more like weird fantasy novels. I just haven't done it yet.
I read a
'Cause
Magica, didn't really care for it. Oh, somebody in the chat, Tharnall says, "Funny, I read Books of Blood Volume 2, not 1." Yeah, I'm gonna read all of them. I had such a good time reading that collection. It's such a weird mix of stories. I mean, you have sort of like body horror, weird what you'd expect from Clive Barker, and then there's like kind of a comedic one, which is very similar to Mr. Be Gone, which I'm guessing maybe that was somewhat of the inspiration to it. And then you had the very last story of the collection is like this almost love Lovecraftian in the sense of like cosmic horror, not like Lovecraftian in the sense of tentacles vibe to it, like folklore weird thing that like how can I without spoiling it? Kind of Attack on Titan,
Oh yeah.
but like existential. It's
Man,
really weird, man. It's
he was ahead of his time, man.
yeah, he was. He's a really brilliant dude. I feel like
Haven't
he
you
definitely
seen him
has some.
before? Like, haven't you like seen him in person? Like, haven't you
No,
met
I've
him?
never met him. I would
No?
love to
Oh,
meet
okay.
him. I would love to meet him, but I've never met him.
For some
Now
reason,
he
I
looks
thought
like
you saw him because there was like one of the stickers in your Discord is like just
no.
absolutely old, rotted out. Clive, I think that's Clive Barker. Poor guy.
Yeah,
Hope he's
yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
okay.
It's him now. Clive Barker. I still need to do a review for Magica because it's very telling. It's interesting
I
reading it
forgot you read
now.
that. I'm
Yeah,
curious what
we
you think of that because I
it was
know
like
it's
a group
weird as
read.
hell.
It was a group read on my server. So, um, yeah, Hellraiser. So that's the Hellbound Heart. It was okay. I thought it was all right.
I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was fun. Like it's it's like the
Yeah,
movie where it's like
yeah,
what?
yeah.
I don't
But
know. I like Hellraiser, but it does kind of feel like he's trying too hard to offend the viewer slash reader. He's like, oh, look how dangerous and sexy. Look how disgusting it is, but doesn't it turn you on a little bit? Like that kind of thing. And you're just like, okay, a little overwhelmed by all this.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
you have you
He's
seen the movie? Hell, this is probably a dumb question. You've seen Hellraiser, haven't you?
dude. I've seen it plenty of times, multiple times. I've
Seems
seen
like a
like probably all of the Hellraiser movies. Well, actually, I stopped watching them when I think maybe Hellraiser 3 or 4 was the last one I watched, and then it started getting like the Friday the 13th series where it just kind of it moved into hilarity
oh
at some
yeah,
point. And then I watched the remake of Hellraiser, which I think it came out on Hulu, I think. But
something like that.
it was okay. I will say I probably still prefer the original, but it was it was all right. Could have been worse.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one because I'm just like I don't know. I'm generally not a when I find when you do like horror franchises, it can get kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it
I
turns into
like Friday the 13th, where he just picks up the guy
yeah,
in the little bag and
yeah,
smacks him against the tree, and you're just like, this is
yeah,
just dumb. At this point.
yeah. Because it becomes the interesting thing about horror films is they're so cheap to make for the most part,
Yeah.
relatively speaking, that to make your money back is really easy, right? So if you latch on to a franchise, guaranteed you'll probably make your money back, you know?
Bex with a good comment here. If you want
If
to
you wanna
not be
not be
turned,
turned on. Yeah, what I was getting at with a Magica is there's a part in the forward where he talks about, "I became gentle," and gentle is the protagonist, if you wanna call a protagonist in a Magica. And with that context in mind, you can see that he pretty much has, like, a god complex of himself. He, like, wrote himself at the center of the story in a weird
okay.
way, and but, when it came out in the '90s, like, you didn't know the Clive Barker then that you do now, right? All of the weird sexual scandals, all of the, like, domestic abuse, all of the drug use,
Oh,
all of
I
that
didn't know there was
stuff.
sexual scandals with our boy.
Well, he was married and then, like, basically
I
basically,
just
like,
thought he was
trapped his
weird.
husband, like, trapped his husband, and, like, there was abuse, police reports filed and all that stuff, but anyway, um, but yeah, it's funny going back and reading it and knowing what you know now of Clive Barker. You're like, "Oh my god," like, he's putting himself in these stories. Not all of his stories, obviously, but some of them. I mean, like, literally as, like, the sort of, god complex character, which is hilarious. Because he comes off as being a very passionate guy about fiction early on when you watch his review interviews, and then, I don't know, reading it after the fact, knowing everything you know now, it really is illuminating.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting though. I've only read the Hellbound Heart because I watched Hellraiser several years ago.
I've read a few of his books.
Yeah, I'd
Um,
have thought you were a fan of his. He was a kind of
yeah, I'm a
he was
I'm
popular in the '80s.
yeah, I'm a fan. I wouldn't say I'm like
You're just
I
weirded
don't
out by his weirdness.
well, I don't really care for his, like, real his fantastique, as he calls it. I'm not a huge fan of that. I prefer him in the horror more in the horror
Oh
realm,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. He does more like visceral horror than like.
Yeah,
I
it's like
mean,
body horror,
yeah.
yeah, gore, but he does what's interesting about him and, love it or hate it, but there's always this, like, sexual undertone to his stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's what makes it unique to him is that it's horrific and bloody and gruesome, but then there's also this weird dark sexuality to it, and I
Yeah,
think at the
again, it's kind of
time
like, oh man, this and this disgusting, but also like this kind of hot, don't you think?
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
what?
And I don't know when he fully came out of the closet, like, said he was gay, 'cause I think he was married to a woman once, because I think he has a son, if I remember correctly. And then so I think during his early career, this was kind of like, he didn't talk about it.
uh,
And so all of this subtextual content in his fiction is like, oh, it all makes sense now, including like, the really weird megalomaniac kind of crap. But
hold on,
well, not everyone can be a bald demon Nazi nails for her. Yeah. Um,
yeah, he just like pulls out the little pins, like, here you go.
oh, cool
I was
thing.
always more creeped out by Frank when he was in his like when he was all
Yeah.
skinned and stuff. It's like, ugh,
Yeah.
ugh.
Uh, cool bit of trivia. So I'm listening to Mr. Begone right now. Doug Bradley, who is Pinhead,
Oh, really?
is narrating it, and
Oh,
it's a really great narration. I think it's like if you guys have Amazon or Audible, it's like $5 right now. So I do recommend that version of it. I bought the hardback like when it came out years ago. Clearly, as the demon told me to do, I did not burn it because that is what the demon is telling you to do. But yeah, it's cool listening to Doug Bradley perform it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was kind of funny. I watched Invincible. He's in it. He plays like a kind of pinhead type of character.
Mm,
Oh man, sorry, Alex. Alex is here. His car got broken into. That's not good, man.
that sucks.
Yeah, you know it's kind of funny. I was watching a video about why Cormac McCarthy was overrated, and I saw Alex in the comment section arguing with. It's pretty fun.
Was it a Logston video?
It was, yes.
Oh man, that
Yeah, you
guy.
know, and
That guy.
yeah,
That
it's like
guy.
that guy. Yeah, yeah, no, he's
The guy who makes claims and then doesn't have evidence. It's great.
yeah.
Oh, you watched my videos? Thanks, man. Yeah, that was like unintended. I didn't. I just kind of was like, I was in his comment section trying to respond to him, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a video, and then that turned into something else.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I thought about picking up like one of his like shorter books because I didn't really want to read the Ecstasy and the Ignominy. I think that's what his book's
I'm
called.
gonna try it.
I
I'm
got it.
gonna,
I
I'm
got
gonna
it
try
mixed
it.
up with the Ecstasy and the Agony, which is a book about Michelangelo. So yeah, sorry,
Oh,
Joseph, if you watch this,
that might be part of the
but
thing. I don't know. Yeah, and I'm gonna read it. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm gonna check it out. I just feel like,
yeah, I mean, look, I enjoy me some $10 words from time to time, but I was a little overwhelmed by the verbiage.
yeah.
Just like, oh. And I saw one of his other books. I'm like, okay, I think I can do this. The verbiage is not so overwhelming. But
Yeah. So you read. So Matt, he says, I read one of his novels. I just want to read his and then Jason's and see how I feel about him. You seem very good faith. Thank you. Yeah, I tried to be. And that's the most disappointing thing, honestly, is how I was trying to be good faith and then I got blocked.
yeah, I saw Allison Talks Books yesterday make a video about I saw she responded to one of his more recent videos, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay." And then she said, like, "Oh, I'm kind of irritated. I might make a parody video." And I'm like, "Oh, I wonder did Joseph make her upset?" And then it was just something else that had literally nothing to do with Joseph. So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Mm.
But yeah, no, yeah, um, I don't know, man. I'm like, well, you know, he can do the maximalist thing. I mean, you read Suttree, that one's pretty intense. But
You know, I recently finished Dandelion Wine by Bradbury, and I
yeah, I saw
wonder
you
what
talking about that.
yeah, I wonder what he would think about it because it's been a while since I've read Bradbury, and it was more poetic than I remember his writing to be, and I don't know if that's unique to Dandelion Wine, but I'd be curious to know, whereas that poeticism didn't bother me. It was still accessible, it didn't break the flow, it didn't feel like it didn't break the verisimilitude of the novel, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, and so I'd be curious, like, is that like a poor man's version of beautiful writing in his regard, or does he also he's like, "No, that's good." So I don't know.
I don't know. It tends like more like classic literature, like Charles Dickens and Moby
Yeah,
Dick.
Melville, and yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. It was so funny. His McCarthy video. I'm like, he's literally echoing the beginning of Moby Dick. Like maybe you could have explained why the opening of Moby Dick was stronger than the opening of Blood Meridian. But you know, yeah.
Yeah, I still wanna do a video where I kinda take, I don't know, like, maybe 5 openers that I enjoy and explain why, and I think I'll throw Blood Meridian in there even though that's not really my favorite, but I think it's worth, just kind of,
Thought you
like,
do like the
dissect a
road or
little bit.
something.
Yeah,
Here's what you
well,
make of the Border trilogy. That one's really
yeah, that's on my list.
or Suttree maybe.
Yeah.
I want to see your reaction to the Melon Munter sequence in
Yeah,
in Sutry. It's like it's not too far in, but it's great.
yeah. At some time, I'm gonna get through all of McCarthy. He's a writer that I think
You know what's
got.
funny? I made a video talking about like books I want to get to for too long, and one of them was Stella Maris. I'm like, or not Stella Maris, it's the other one, The Passenger. And I was talking about how I'm kind of putting it off because, like, I don't know, it's gonna be the last one. And then Carol commented and was like, "You know what's funny about that? One of the characters in The Passenger is doing the exact same thing." And I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, be fitting then. Whenever I get around to it." I also need to read his first novel.
Yeah, the Orchard Keeper.
Yeah, Crossing's probably that's an interesting one. I think the second half is kind of a drag, but the first and like third are really great. So I don't know. Probably the saddest thing I've read from McCarthy. Oof. Oh,
Yeah,
which is
I'm
saying
thinking
a
about
lot.
getting the Everyman's Library version of the Border trilogy where they're all in one potentially. We'll see. Have I read The Man Who Forgot Ray Bradbury? I have not.
I think that's the Neil Gaiman story that he gave Ray
Mm,
Bradbury on his birthday, if I remember correctly. I have not read it myself, but you know, I mean,
The Crossing is the only McCarthy novel to make you cry.
you cried at The Road, didn't you, Jason? You said
Me?
that
Oh
once.
yeah, dude. Yeah. The Road was sad as hell, man. Yeah, that was a rough read. I mean, I love it, but good stuff in there.
Yeah, no, it's kind of funny. I guess she's asleep. I'm like, what's going on back there? You know what's funny? I'm reading this book called Red Mars right now from Kim Stanley Robinson. It's kind of
Yeah.
like the Martian Chronicles, except it's more realistic. It's
What
just
do you mean
more like
realistic? Wasn't I thought the Oh, I don't
no,
know
no, no.
why I
I
was
just
thinking The Martian for a second, and I was like, wait a minute.
no.
Yeah, Martian
That's funny you
Chronicles is not
mentioned the
realistic.
Martian because I would be very shocked if Andy Weir didn't get like some of his ideas for the Martian from this book. Not that like Robinson's super snarky or whatever. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's pretty grounded and like scientific, you know. And it's about Mars and kind of the people who would go on Mars. You know what's funny? I was thinking about reading Project Hail Mary this year because
No, why?
well the movie was coming out. I was like, well, do I want to read it? And then I saw people they really like it, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then it came out in March. And I'm like, well, shit. No, I don't know if I want to read it now.
Yeah, I have no desire to ever read another Andy Weir book again after The
Yeah, I
Martian.
know you don't really like Andy Weir all that much.
Yeah.
The Martian's
He
good, but it didn't really blow me away like everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate what he did by making it all scientifically accurate, but I don't read books for that reason. I read books for story, and I felt the story wasn't that cool.
Well, it's a competent man's story. I mean, if you don't like those, then
No, I do. I don't mind those. I'm just saying it's more the beat by beat stuff, especially how it was all journal entries. So it
you know
felt
what's
like
funny? I was
the
talking
tension
about
was lost.
you know what's funny? I was talking about Matt Damon earlier because he's in the new Odyssey movie. I'm like, you know, I don't know if Matt Damon would have been my choice for a Odysseus, but
Hell no.
here we are. And I think it was Tharno asked, like, "Do you not like Matt Damon?" I'm like, "No, I like Matt. I think he's a good actor. It's just I don't know if that's the guy I would have gotten for Odysseus personally, but you know,
Matt Damon just plays Matt Damon. You know, he's one of those actors where he's not a character actor. Like Pattinson is a character actor where he can transform and he like feels like he's being somebody else.
mm.
Like I'm more drawn to actors like that. I don't really like it
Well,
when
yeah, no,
it's
yeah, I
just
get
like,
that.
oh, I'm Matt Damon as Matt Damon dressed like Odysseus, you know, like I don't I'm not into that stuff.
We do have another guest in here. Got Alex Magnino. Alex, how you
Hello.
doing, man? Sorry about
Doing
your
okay.
car,
What's up?
bro.
It's okay.
Who would I cast? I don't know. I think it was Mac who said Oscar Isaac. I'm like, yeah, I think Oscar Isaac could do a good job, maybe, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I could see that.
Like he would look the part, you know. I mean, I haven't seen
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I've heard a lot of people really like The Return, which I thought about seeing. I saw it came out in theaters. I'm like, oh, it looks good. You know, I like Ralph Fiennes, and I didn't see it, so I've heard it's really good though. It's basically like the last half of the Odyssey.
Mm.
Well, Alex, you saw it. What did you think of it? I didn't see your video yet because I've just been juggling all this stuff today.
It was my 1 a.m. ramblings in my car. But I really enjoyed it. I think there are some things that I would have preferred. Like I agree with you, Matt Damon wouldn't be my first choice, but I thought he did good. All things, because I think everybody gave 110% because it's a Christopher Nolan film. Like even from the most minute, like one sentence, one line of dialogue person, like gave it their all. So I appreciated that. The Cersei scene is probably my favorite. I won't go into detail why. It's a little different, but honestly, I prefer what they do with it. Let's just say there's no boinking involved because I always found that really annoying. It's like, oh, by the way, Hermes, I need you. Okay, Odysseus, please go and have sex with this woman for a year, and then your man can go back to normal. That doesn't happen, but it's secretly a horror movie. I'll say that. Some of the scenes in this movie, I'm like, I thought this was just the Odyssey. I'd never getting some horror in here. So, but it was fun. It was good. Not
Yeah,
my
it's
favorite
funny.
one.
I was watching a video from Willow recently, where Willow Heath, who I sometimes watch, she was talking about the Odyssey and reading like bad reviews of the Odyssey. And she was talking about like Christopher Nolan, and she kind of fell out of love with him, which, you know, it's fair. You know, he's not perfect, and I think his best work is behind him personally. But because like I saw Oppenheimer, I thought it was fine. Tenet was incomprehensible. But yeah, so that was fun. She's like, I'm gonna make a video about the Odyssey for my movie channel I just started. I'm like, oh well, okay.
I think he's like more of a concept guy, you know? He's less
Yeah,
of
I
a
think
he was
when him
probably
and his
not the
brother
right.
Jonathan
Yeah.
worked together, I think Jonathan balanced him out. Um,
Another thing I didn't like was the like the armor and stuff. I mean, that's a more minute thing, but it just kind of looked like Power Rangers to me sometimes. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
like Agamemnon and like Darth Vader, like aura farming. I'm like,
It's kind of cool though the movie, but it is really silly to look like. I don't know. It looks like a Power Ranger villain, but
you know, it's funny. I saw John Bernthal, and everyone was like memeing about like he always is
he
like,
does
I got
not say. Let me tell you something.
yeah.
Don't worry about that. It's not happening.
Yeah, he looks like he's playing Sean Bernthal. He's got
Yeah,
the like I don't know, he just does that,
I
you
like
know?
his podcast, man. His podcast is a lot of fun, even
I
though
like that he has a vendetta against naps. He gets really upset when you mention naps. He's like, "I'll take naps, man. Naps are for babies."
yeah, no, he's fun. Yeah,
Yes.
but no, but yeah, no, yeah, I would have seen it this weekend, but you know, I usually see films with my dad, and he's out of town, so I'm like, yeah, it's not happening. But
Yeah, I mean, it was this and Doom Part 3, which are like the only things I was like truly looking forward to this year. So I wanted my reread of the Iliad and the Odyssey was just for this movie. So, but
you know,
good
it's
or bad,
funny.
I had to see it.
Someone was asking if they have to read the Iliad before the Odyssey. I'm like, I don't think you have to, but I mean, it'll definitely like help you. Like, you know, you can. It's a more, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Complete experience, but you can read the Odyssey on its own.
Yeah, I personally prefer the Iliad, even though I think the Odyssey is the easier read. But um, I'm also a Hector stan. I think the Greeks kind of suck. I think the Trojans. I'm a Trojan sympathizer. What can I say? So they also created, Rome according to Virgil. So yeah, but
Yeah, no, I still think like I always felt Inception was a little overrated. I love The Prestige. I think The Prestige is great. I love that movie. And
Yeah, that's
Dark
good.
Knight's great too.
Because the
Yeah.
Turk stole his wife.
Yeah, because Paris is all like, yeah, I'm gonna steal Lupita. I can't pronounce her name. I'm sorry, guys. She was
That was
in
another thing that was
Us.
very silly was the discourse surrounding the movie because of the casting choices.
Oh, of
And
course, you know.
Travis Scott is in the movie. Yeah, he has like one scene, and it's literally it's whatever. Like it's not a big deal. Elliot
There's
Page
so many
is
better
not
rappers than
really,
Travis
so
Scott,
people are
though.
concerned
Like,
about that. It's
want him freaking
at least-
mumble rapping the Odyssey? Like, I don't want
No,
to.
all I'll say is at the beginning of the movie, he's got like a little staff, and he's basically like the bard. Like he's like they're at the bar, they're in Penelope's like place. You know, they're drinking their wine and stuff, and he's like, boom, 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 a war, a man. And that's literally it. But it's great. I think it's funny.
I mean, I'm
But
looking
he's not-
forward to seeing Robert Pattinson because I always like. I really like Robert Pattinson. He's had a
does
really
well.
interesting career. You know, he started out as kind of Twilight, and people made fun of him for that for a long time. But I really like how he kind of.
Everything else is like a.
I like how
gotta
he's turned.
explore like
He's
that.
almost kind of shed Twilight at this. Like he's kind of turned into this like quirky character actor. He's really he's really great.
He's like, I'm not just that. I'll prove it to you, and that's been like his entire life since.
I do kind of have a soft spot for the '90s adaptation, even though it's kind of goofy. I like Asand Amante, I think is his name, is Odysseus. Like, there you go. Like that guy looks the part, you know, like as Odysseus. Because
I remember that one. Yeah.
though it is kind of silly. I mean, the Cyclops part is kind of like, oh, where are you? Well, the dude's playing the flute. Yeah.
That part was terrifying. I will also say I was disappointed because they cut out the joke because it's a serious adaptation, so we don't have the nobody joke. I'll say that.
I heard that. I don't know if that was true. That sucks.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Well, it's
That's
also
like one of
only
my
one.
that's one of my favorite parts of the whole. My favorite part of the whole Odyssey is the
No, yeah, I
Cyclops
love it.
part.
Nobody
And it's-
stabbed me. It's great. But yeah, there's only
Yeah, he's
one.
like, nobody stabbed me. And the other Cyclops are like, oh, I don't know what this idiot's going on about.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm sure it's gonna be a good movie because it's
No, yeah, I
Christopher
think it's
Nolan.
I think it's one of
but-
Nolan's better films. It's not my favorite of his though. But it also feels like a little bit of a thematic spiritual successor to Oppenheimer in terms of like Odysseus doesn't really feel bad about Troy. You know, he's kind of like, yeah, that happened. Whatever. I just want to go back home. I'll say there's a little bit more contemplation on that in the movie than I think the book gives to that. So,
you know what's funny? I like this lady. Her name's Lisa Leibs. She's kind of one of those like more conservative type of commentators who's complaining about why classic literature is really great and yada yada. Anyway, she was talking about like, oh, Odysseus, he's like so traumatized in the movie and yada yada, and I'm just like, that's in the original source material. You do realize that, do you? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just read it again last month. I finished it last month anyway, and like, there's a bit of that in there too, where he's just like, I need to get the fuck back home, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do I know? I'm just a guy who reads stuff.
Aren't we all, at the end of the day, we're just here.
She runs a whole business, you know.
Runs a whole business.
Okay, I'm gonna put my phone down. But yeah, no,
Multitasking.
What are you reading, Alex?
Actually, I watched this video by YouTuber Noah McAllister, and he was talking about Hellblazer. And I am not a big comic book guy. I mostly
all the John Constantine comics. All right. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so I'd only seen John Constantine in either the Keanu Reeves movie or the show that got canceled, and then he kept appearing on all those CW shows. And I really liked that guy. And I was like, maybe I should read those comics. But then I found out he first appears in Swamp Thing. So then I went down a rabbit hole and I started reading Swamp Thing. And it was really good. At least when we got to Alan Moore. It was kind of a struggle before that. But once I got to Alan Moore, I'm like, yes, I'm in. This is fantastic. So I've been going through all that. I just finished the Saga of the Swamp Thing. Debating if I go on, because I kind of feel like I'm complete. Like I don't need more of it. I can just move on to Constantine. But then I heard that Rick Beach makes Swamp Thing meet Jesus. And I'm like, I'm kind of curious to see how that turns out. So,
Yeah, which only came out like this year because they censored it for a while.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's too saucy even for us guys.
I also am gonna start probably today, since I don't have work now. The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. So that was a big one I planned on. And then Faust is coming up, and a reread of Moby Dick. Since
man,
honestly, to Joseph again, that whole discourse, like, you know what? I'm gonna read it because I hated it in high school. I'm hoping now that I've been reading Cormac McCarthy and everything that my opinion's gonna be 180 now. I'll love it, but I guess we'll see.
I've been listening to it, and it's a lot goofier than I imagined it would be. Like,
wait, you're listening to Moby Dick?
Yeah, here and there. I just saw it was like free on Audible, and I was like, I'll just start listening to it. And so like I, here and there was listening to it, and there's a lot more levity to it than I expected. I don't know. Every time when I think of Moby Dick, I think of like this heavy, grim seafaring adventure, but I don't know. Like in Queequeg, and you've read it, right, Britton?
Long time ago, yeah. I've read it twice.
In school.
It goes out, like he shares a bed with Queequeg, and it's like there's this joke about them being a married couple and stuff, and like they touch foreheads, and like, well, this is weird. Like this is not what I expected. But yeah, I'd say the chapters where he's just like talking about whales forever, definitely easier to listen to. I imagine those parts are tedious.
Well, I've read the Bible where they have the chapters where it's just names and names and names.
Yeah.
So if I can handle that, I could probably handle some whale information. So
yeah, no, I my reading is not classic. I am reading Starman. I guess that's a classic. And
Starman, what is that?
Oh, it's a comic book. Damn it.
Okay.
My phone fell off.
I was thinking the old like 1980s movie.
No, I am about to read Live by Night by Dennis Lehane. So that's gonna be fun. Kind of gangster book.
I keep trying to finish the whole time, but I keep stopping myself because I don't like it. But
the Given Day was a really frustrating book, but hopefully this second one will be fine. I was gonna do a discussion with Josh and Carlos and Yolanda about it, and I got carried away. And also, Carlos and Yolanda are gonna get married, so it's like, fuck. Congrats on them for getting married, but damn it,
damn it, my video.
It's like
prove their happiness.
I'm scheming. I'm like, your happiness is getting in the way of my schemes.
Mr. Iago over here.
Yeah, no, it's right. Yeah, no, it's funny. I asked Brad Kelly the other day. I had him on my podcast several weeks ago. It's gonna take a minute to get out, but I asked him if like I'm gonna read Moby Dick again at some point. What should I look for? And he's like, bro, it's funny as shit, dude. So look for that and like look for the weirdness about the whales. I'm like, okay,
that's what I mean. It is funny. Like I was like, what?
I think I'm adequately prepared for it now on a reread because I read The Divine Comedy. I read Paradise Lost. So I feel like any parallels that might be made, I have it already in my mind. So I have that ready. I did my homework. Nobody's asked me to do it. I did it with my own accord. And so I think I'm ready to go. But I need to read more sci-fi and fantasy. That's what I used to do. And then
You've
so I
gone
was
down the rabbit hole of classic literature.
oh yeah, well I started reading R. Scott Baker's fantasy series, and he said in his sequel series that he was inspired by Blood Meridian. So I read Blood Meridian, and like you said back then last year, that's a crazy Western to start with. And I'm like, well, that's what I'm starting with. So I read that, love it, go down a rabbit hole with Cormac McCarthy, and then I read Wuthering Heights for some reason. And I just read everything, and it's like the TBR keeps growing, and I just never have time to read everything I want to read. It's really annoying. I hate the short time span we have on this planet. So, but
that's why I quit books often. If they're not captivating me, like I'm done, because I go, there's no way I'm gonna ever read all the books I want to read. So
I should do that, but that I like you know Daniel Green on YouTube. You really hyped
yeah,
up for me Wheel of Time. So like a
Oh
dummy,
no.
like a dummy, I bought them all.
Ah,
I spent money on them, so like I am obligated
Hello,
to finish
Kennedy.
it because I spent my hard-earned money on it. Now I'm forcing myself to go through it, and every time I read it,
oh
I just never
god.
read for like a month. So I keep procrastinating.
Yeah,
But I
no,
have
I'm kind
First
of
Law as
hesitant
well
to
that I need to
dive
finish
into
or
the
something.
classics again because I'm like, I'm so like modern pilled. Like I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know how
I
I'll
kind
be
of
able
like
to.
everything now, so like I can go to like a modern work and enjoy it, and it
Yeah, I
just
know. Then
depends
you
on
go
the
into modern work, you're like, God, where's the poetry, guys? What are you
mood.
doing?
Well, you know, if there's no lyrical prose, then it's just bad. Remember, guys.
There's no
Beauty is
$10 words
objective.
every
Yeah,
5
beauty is
minutes.
subjective. Don't forget.
You know.
His book. What I was saying in the comment. I read it. I thought it's fine. I thought it was very beautiful. My issue is that at least from that book, I can't speak to the one he's always promoting, but the one I read, I forget what it's called. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But every character,
Forgot the
I'll have a
name.
review of it coming out several months because I make my videos like massively ahead of time. But in August, but all the characters, because of the way he writes, he likes to write super like beautiful, and that's fine. But because every single thing is super beautiful, I can't tell who's talking ever because they all sound the same, unless he's going, well, Julie said this and Elmo
Yeah.
said this. That's the only way I know different people are talking. Otherwise, it all blends together. So it just sounds like Joseph talking constantly,
Yeah.
not
I
the
think
character.
that's why I want to read one of his books too, is because it's to me that shows an utter lack of understanding of what characterization is. Right. So it's almost as if
At least
he
from the one I
has
read,
this,
it's one of his earlier works. So
yeah, at least if he has this idea of, hey, this is what beauty is, or what I'm trying to achieve. It's like he forgot all the other cool stuff we have about storycraft, and he's so fixated on this one thing.
I mean, his
like I'm
next
trying to
book
be
is
an
about
actor.
Puritans, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna read that.
I'm
I'm all
trying to
about
be
the
an actor, so I
Puritans.
think what I love about Cormac McCarthy is how like he can be beautiful, specifically in
Yeah.
certain paragraphs. But when he's like doing dialogue, it feels like normal people talking.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel particularly special, but it's the like you said in your video, like the unspoken subtext of the conversation, and you have to kind of like intuit a certain emotion or tone. That's up to you when you read it because he doesn't give you anything. He doesn't say like, he said it angrily, he said it happy. You just have to.
Yeah.
It could be anything. Different people could read the same dialogue and hear it completely differently. And so I think like especially like I mentioned the crossing, like there's certain conversations that are had, and because of the way that I envisioned them saying it, like I started tearing up because it's just
Mhm.
really beautiful. I really love the crossing's
Oh,
probably one of my favorite McCarthy works. So
Yeah, I hear people often cite that as being their favorite McCarthy book, period,
another
or
reason Cities
or
on the Plane made
special.
me cry is because of book two. Cities on the Plane is weaker, but it's because of
Yeah.
book two that three has
man,
weight.
Cities of the
So
Plain is freaking sad, man. Like
it is
like
sad.
like that and the crossing, they're just sad. You're
I
like,
think it's
damn.
because of the crossing that I don't think three would hit nearly as hard if you just went from one to three.
That's true,
You didn't
yeah.
know who the character from two is. Because a lot of it, the second one, I won't say too many spoilers, but he's, the
Okay,
main
so they're
character is described as like the guy that just like kind of witnesses. He doesn't do anything phenomenal. He's just a witness to other
Mhm.
events. And so John Grady Cole is that really cool proactive character in
Okay,
book
now
1.
they're letting. Okay, for some reason, Amazon turned off their read sample, and now they're back to doing read samples. So I don't know. Amazon's
They
Amazon.
turned off their read sample? When?
Yeah, or I couldn't access the read because I like going on Amazon and reading samples of books to
Yeah.
kind of give me a taste, and
Mhm.
it wasn't on there the other day, and now it's back on there. So I don't know what's going on. Probably maintenance or something.
But yeah, so the character from book 2 is just a witness to John Grady Cole in 3. And there's a lot of parallels that are never explicitly said, but you can make between his brother in book 2 and his relationship to John Grady Cole in book 3 that I think are just got me by the end. I was like, oh.
Yeah, McCarthy, I'm always like, I'll read a string of dialogue about like a conversation, and I'm just at the end, I'm like, motherfucker, like, how did you get I can picture the whole scene vividly, and I can totally read the body language. I can just see how these guys are speaking, or girls, or whoever it is, speaking to each other in so few words. And to me, that's what blows my mind, because it's really easy to like write in a very highly descriptive manner, right? Whereas when you strip all that away and you still convey the same stuff, to me, it's every time I read McCarthy, it's like that. I'm like, dang.
I think what I'll agree with Joseph on, which he wouldn't agree about McCarthy, I guess, but I think it is something indescribable that nobody can truly answer, and where I would agree with you that it is subjective to people. But I think there are moments in between every author, if you go in with good faith and really try to read everything, that there's a moment of sublime sort of, you can't really explain why it works so well. You can go, oh, the prose are good or this or that, but there's just something about a particular text that maybe speaks to you. But in it though, there is a sort of like overarching truth that you feel like kind of applies to everyone, even if you can't grasp what that is. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you are. And I think that's why I wanted to talk to him, is because I wanted to ask him, like, okay, what does it mean when I read a passage and you read a passage and it moves me and it doesn't move you? Like, what does that mean to you? Is it the fact that I'm incapable? Like my mind can't comprehend it? Like what do you, again, that's
Sounds like
my
a
biggest
Lovecraftian document. It's like
well,
it's so horrible you can't comprehend it, you know.
Well, because when you say something is objective, right? And that means it is regardless of any observer. It is what it is, right? So when he's using words like that, I don't understand. So what does it mean if somebody has a certain experience, right? What does that mean to you? Is it a false experience? Is it an uneducated experience? How does one get to the point? Or is it like we're all trying to become enlightened at some point and Joseph's enlightened and all of us are like, unenlightened and we can't see the same thing? That's my biggest thing. It's like, that's why in that second video I was saying, yeah, I believe there's like a shared kind of, there's a spectrum of stuff, right? On how we all can kind of agree, but there's always people who disagree, or they'll be on one end or the other. But like, what does that mean to him? Because when you're making a statement that's saying something is objective, but then I don't feel it, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean about me? That's what I'd be curious, because I mean, I don't know. Without,
I sometimes rail on Steve Donahue, but he said in an interview I saw of him once on my friend Sam's channel, it's like, well, craft is objective. You could say craft is objectively good. Now, how you react to it, that is subjective,
Like, I reviewed The Sun Also Rises by Hemingway because I really enjoyed Farewell to Arms by Hemingway, because I kind of went on from McCarthy and went, oh, Hemingway writes similar, or I guess McCarthy kind of writes like him. So but I really enjoyed Farewell to Arms. When I read Sun Also Rises, I could register that this is objectively a well-written piece of a novel. I didn't enjoy it though. So when I did my review, I'm like, I think this is objectively a good piece of work. It just didn't hit me for whatever reason.
That's kind of funny. It's kind of what I'm thinking of Red Mars at the moment. I'm like, this is really well done and it does a lot of things I wish science fiction did more, but it's just not like reaching me emotionally, even though it's doing a lot.
That was Flowers for Algernon for me, right? Like I can look like
we all have that book,
Yeah, I was just saying like, wow, I can see technically the technical expertise behind it. Like I can see the inciting incident, I can see the midpoint turn, I can see all of these things, right? All of the subtext, but like I'm just not feeling it. So yeah, I mean, I agree that you can definitely identify these works of genius, and then
You know
but
what's
not
funny,
be moved by them.
Jason? I kind of feel with Flowers for Algernon, it's kind of the same thing with like Lord of the Flies. It just feels kind of manipulative. And some people might go like, well, Britton, aren't all pieces of art supposed to be manipulative? And yes, you can make that argument, yes. But like
Yeah.
He's gonna hide
it
it.
but what I mean by that is like, oh, isn't it sad that this mentally disabled guy can't do anything and spell and whatnot? And oh look,
Oh, so
he's all
you're
smart now. And then
yeah,
oh
you're
look, now he's even more mentally disabled than earlier. Isn't that sad? Like that is like that's what I mean when I say it's like with Lord of the Flies. It's like, oh, look at these kids. Oh, they're murdering each other. Look,
well,
isn't that messed up? You know,
I
it's
would
like
agree with you, but in Flowers for Algernon, the greatest thing about the characterization about that, yeah, you could argue, oh, well, he's mentally handicapped, therefore you should feel bad for him. But what he does, the author,
uh-huh.
is that you can see what the other people are doing to him, but he can't see.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
he
That
has
is
this
good.
like, which to me, that's a great mark of a writer when like, yeah, you could just, oh, I'm going to make this person pathetic and you're going to feel bad for them. But the fact that
It's kind of
we
like
as
the
the
whole, you know, how
reader,
people complain about like pregnant ladies and like post-apocalyptic stuff, you know, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, you're like, come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so I think I would agree with you, but there is that extra layer where
Yeah.
That is a
as the
good point.
reader, you can see beyond what the narrator can see. And you're
Which
like, you just
adds
want
to
to tell
me
them,
feeling bad because
right,
you
right. You're like, oh, these guys are being dicks to you. Can't you tell? And he's over here being like, man, they're my best friends, you know, they're
you're like,
just
no, honey, they
joking with
don't
me.
care
You're like,
about your
no,
career.
man, they're making fun of you. So
No, it's kind of like I feel like My Dark Vanessa, for instance, like I feel like that could have been one of those kind of books where it's like, oh look, this girl's getting manipulated and sexually assaulted. Like, isn't that sad? Like, but how she describes the like aftermath of that and just some of the stuff she did to kind of act out her trauma, like that's
yeah,
really kind of what that's what
I
grabbed
went
me
in.
about that book anyway.
Yeah, I went into that book thinking, okay, this is going to be a wannabe Lolita, you know? So I
Uh-huh.
already went into it thinking, oh, I'm not going to like this. It's going to feel derivative. And then I was like, oh, actually, it's doing its own thing, you know, once you
Lolita's
get
actually
through
a
it.
perfect example of manipulating your audience because the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah, but
point
that's
is that
intentional though. Like
yeah, that's
that's like
intentional.
ah.
That's what I mean, but that's on purpose.
Yeah,
So,
but that's the it's not like, oh, look at this guy. Like, I don't know. It's that's probably not a
Well,
great way to
I think
describe it.
manipulative is the wrong word because yes, as writers, you're trying to manipulate the reader. Like,
Maybe, yeah, that's what
but
I'm trying to say.
right. That's why I'm saying I think manipulative is the wrong word. I almost think like I'm trying to think of a way to explain it, but like when I read A Thousand Splendid Suns, I felt the same way,
Oh yeah.
right? Where it's like, okay, you have a poor girl who's forced into a terrible marriage in an oppressive society. You're stacking all these things up, you know, on each other to like bake in this empathy with the reader. So it's like, okay, well, if you take all that away, is it a good story? And I think it's still a decent story. So that's kind of how I view stuff. If I feel like something's a little too heavy-handed, I try to separate myself from that and then like look at everything else and go, okay, well, how does the rest, is it all reliant upon that, or is that just, you know, part of the story? But
It's a good book, though it's really sad, so just keep that in mind.
yeah, that's good.
Or, you know, take something like Kindred. That's another book I think, you know, under the wrong hands, it could have been super like, oh, look how sad slavery was. Aren't you upset? You know, and
Yeah, or like, you know, Ricky Gervais's joke, right? If you want to win an Oscar, do a Holocaust
yeah,
movie,
yeah,
right? That's essentially what we're getting at here. It's like
exactly, yeah.
you know.
speaking of slavery, I read Beloved by Toni Morrison. Which I
Oh
thought
yeah,
was
what'd you think? I've been meaning to read that for a long time, and I just
I
haven't.
really liked it. In some ways, not all the way. It also kind of reminded me of McCarthy a bit, or maybe I'm just like I don't know, seeing McCarthy over. I don't know, but I really enjoyed it. I think it's a book I wouldn't go out. I always try to get out of my comfort zone now, since I'm like, well, I can like classic and contemporary literature now. Since I was just like a sci-fi fantasy guy, I can read anything. But since it's like so, because like I'm a Hispanic person,
Okay.
but like I don't have any real relation or stake in that particular topic. So I always get really scared about talking about stories where I feel very ignorant in. So I was like, I don't know if I want to. But I read it, and I think, you know, it does a good job of putting you in that spot and being
Yeah.
like, but also being a good like gothic tale because it's a Southern Gothic novel, and so you got the whole idea of this ghost. Instead of a mansion, it's their little house that they have because it's still like 60 years after slavery ended. So, but I thought it was very. I now have to read the rest of Toni Morrison's work because I thought she's really good.
Yeah, I
So,
saw some of my friends like Jimmy really like The Bluest Eye from her, and I'll have to. I've been wanting to read Toni Morrison for a long time. I just haven't done it.
Yeah, and that's how I felt with Flannery O'Connor. I read her novel, The Violent Bear It Away, and there were times where I was like, man, this sounds just like McCarthy. Like the writing.
I think he was inspired by her at least.
Yeah,
Child of
she
God,
was
definitely.
Yeah, but I just mean apart from like narratively, like I mean just the subject matter, the themes, the prose itself. Granted, she uses quotation marks and stuff like that, but it's very, very familiar, which was cool to see.
yeah, Faulkner's also on my immediate TBR because I've avoided No Country for Old Men because I'm the most familiar with that since I've watched the movie dozens of times.
Yeah.
So I've tried to read like everything else. But his earlier works I know are a little bit more like Faulkner because he was a new writer and he wrote a bit like other people before he found his own style. So I was like, before I read those early first 3 books of his, I want to read some of Faulkner. So
I read Eileen. That's another one where I'm like, look, I appreciate the craft, but it just didn't do anything for me. It's just like kind of like, oh man, look at the perverted thoughts of this like 20-year-old lady, and I'm just like, oh, that's okay. It's kind of like reading a Philip Roth novel. I'm like, I was telling some friends of mine, I'm like, if a man wrote this, like, it would not be published. Like, they would just think the guy's just like indulging his perversion, and it's like, no, because a woman wrote it. They're like, yes, queen, this is a great book, I'm
Over here with the hot takes.
Here we go. Yeah,
trying to get canceled.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, I read that book a long time ago. I thought it was all right. Yeah, but I can see where you're coming from for sure.
I'm just like, okay, that's fine. I thought about reading Lapvona last year, and I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah, that's one I gotta read. I've been meaning to read more of her.
I saw that Carol hated it. He
hated it. He hated it. Yeah, which makes me even more curious. Like, why did he hate it? when you hear somebody hates a novel, you're like, okay, well, I gotta.
It's like when I hated on The Devil Takes You Home. You're like,
oh man, and I saw your hatred. We met head to head in our hatred on that book.
Yeah. Alex, I'm curious what you might think of it. I hate to like sound stereotypical, but it's based on like Latin American stuff.
Well, I'm a terrible Hispanic. I can't speak Spanish, but I'm down to check it out. Yeah, my parents never spoke Spanish, and my grandfather, he'd only speak Spanish when he was having an adult conversation he didn't want me to hear, which would be kind of counterintuitive if I understood it. So I'm the whitest Hispanic out there. But, and in fact, in high school, I took sign language for 2 years. I only remember the alphabet. I don't remember anything else. But so there's white people that know Spanish better than I do. So let's say. So, but what is the novel called?
The Devil Takes You Home. I will say there is some of it in Spanish. You're gonna have to translate it.
Okay, I got Kindle. That's what I did for Cormac McCarthy.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been so nice when you're reading The Crossing, because like there's whole like monologue in Spanish. And I'm just like,
I was like, all right, copy and paste. All right, what is it? No, I would have the Kindle app say it in Spanish so I could get that authentic feel, and then I'd read what it said. So
I have a friend. She was teaching her son how to do sign language. So that's always I always think of that.
I get a very slow conversation with a deaf person because we'd have to go letter by letter, but I can do it. So
yeah, no, yeah, it's funny. Again, I watched Lisa Leibs, or I forget how is it Lisa Leibs? It's like my aunt's name, but with a Z. But anyway, she was talking about she doesn't like Otacia Moshfegh, and I was like, yeah, I read Eileen. I thought it was okay. It wasn't really like. Again, made me think of like a Philip Roth novel where it's just like, oh look, this is like, I don't know. I don't like Philip Roth anyway, so there you go.
I guess I haven't read enough yet. I haven't had any book that I like absolutely loathe and despise yet. But I did read all of the Star Wars.
I try to avoid books that I think I wouldn't like, but there's
Yeah.
occasionally those books where I'm just like, this
So far, the
sucks.
closest thing I have is The Wheel of Time. I feel real bad because I know how much Wheel of Time fans love those books, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just giving my honest opinions. So, but
yeah, my friend Matt, I used to be on his, this is kind of where this show came from, was his show, where it was called the Pub, and he doesn't do it so much anymore, but he was talking about, like, he said, like, I've heard so much about the Wheel of Time. No, just never grabbed me. Never wanted to read it. And I'm like, that's about how I feel about it as well. I just think it's not. Just
I
read
not
the
that
first
interesting.
I read
two.
Malazan first, and to go from Malazan to that was such a.
That must have been a Malazan's so weird and like dark and whatnot, and Wheel of Time's like, oh yes, this is not the Hobbiton. We're gonna fight the not Nazgul.
I mean, I don't mean a lighter story. It's just I was told it's Game of Thrones with Tolkien, with like happiness and also reincarnation. And then I get to book 4 and they're like, this is the best one. This is the best one, guys. So I get there and I read it, I'm like, it's good. It's not the greatest thing. And you say it goes downhill from here until the end, and then
also, there's just too many damn books. I don't want to read a 15-book saga, man. Like,
and they have the
I only have
people
so
in their
much time
books,
before I go.
which are just the Fremen from Dune, basically, that they have. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like I only have so much like life, before I leave this mortal coil.
Yes.
I can't.
To read or not to read, that is the question.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, no, I've just not read. All I've heard about Wheel of Time is it's pretty fun, but like it's also kind of oddly sexist, and there's also like 3 literal books, 3 that are called
call
the Slog.
And I felt the slog since book 2, so I don't know
Oh
what
my
I'm talking about. And, oh no, but they say that there's like this gender equality, and that it's like this it's a nice balance of women and men, and all I'm seeing is stereotypes of women in the book, and I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see where this equality is coming from, or where it just feels like a bunch of stereotypes. But what do I know? But I did read all of the Star Wars Expanded Universe before I read any other kind of novel. That's what got me back into reading. And there's this trilogy of books about Boba Fett called the Bounty Hunter Trilogy. And I was like, well, this is going to be cool. It's Boba Fett. Can't go wrong. And it quickly started pissing me off. It started feeling like work. And I'd be on my break at work reading that, not having a good time.
Is that the one in your intro that you chuck against the wall?
That's what I try. Yeah, I work myself up so much in my review of the final book that as I'm talking, I grab the book and I say you should just skip it, and I throw it against the wall, and it's just like a really loud bang. And I surprised myself by doing that.
I was about to say, I don't know if Jason's ever done that. I don't know if you've ever gotten so mad at a book you've thrown it, chucked it against.
Nah, I don't. I tend to not get physical with my hatred.
It's the only time I've ever gotten physical with my hatred. I felt like I'd wasted my time, and it was. But it's honestly, it's a fine book. It's not even that bad. I just worked myself up over it. So.
I know a guy when I worked at Barnes & Noble years ago who read Hyperion. Because Hyperion, for those of you who don't know, the first novel is just half of a story, right? The second novel completes the story.
Yes.
And he got to the end of the novel. He was like walking, he said, and he just threw it over his head. Like he was so pissed off. And I'm like,
have either of you guys seen Silver Linings Playbook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that great scene where Bradley Cooper gets all pissed off at the end of the Ernest Hemingway book. He's like, son of a bitch, and throws it out the window, and he wakes up his parents to rant about it. It's great.
Yeah.
No, it's I mean, that's a great film. But yeah, no, anyway, that's I don't generally throw books. I just sell them because
Fair.
I'll give them over to my half price books and they'll give me money for it. And I'm like, this is nice, thank you. I might give the Devils to them soon because I thought the Devils was pretty whack.
Is that
Did you
the Joe
finish it?
Abercrombie one?
That's the new Joe Abercrombie one, yeah.
Yeah. Did you finish it?
I did, unfortunately.
Wow.
I don't know. It was not.
I
It was
really
not.
tried
It
to
was
get to
not
the end of
fun.
it.
It was not fun.
Yeah, I could
Once I
not.
got to the third cousin, I'm like, oh my god, this is killing me.
I still gotta finish First Law. I've still only read the first book, but I enjoyed it. But I just every time I go to read the next one, it's either I got Will Time making me suffer and die, or I'm reading something I like a Cormac McCarthy book. So I'm like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the First Law trilogy is great. I haven't read any of the other ones, but I don't know. Just the Devils just felt lazy. Like it just felt like Joe Abercrombie's like, oh, I'll just throw this together, you know. And I'm like, this is bullshit. I know you can do better than this. Like, get out of here with that.
Yeah, it was a weird turn. I did not
Yeah,
expect
Jason was just absolutely bamboozled by like the weird animal
just
people.
well, it was just top to
I
bottom.
thought that was funny. Like you were just going like, yo, there's like weird like rabbit people in this.
There's like fish people in it. There's rabbit people. I'm like, what is happening? Is this an anime now? Like, what's going on? I didn't get. Yeah, it was so out of character. It felt like for him.
Yeah, and then like
Yeah.
I felt the repetition wasn't that great. It was like reading a Frank Miller comic where he's just going like, Dick Grayson, 12 years old. And I'm just like, okay, I don't really want to sit through this. Go. And then it's like, oh man, here comes that werewolf lady who's like, you know. Yeah, it was just weird. It was just weird.
How's your novel coming along? Britton?
It's going. I got some feedback and I was like, okay. And then I'm gonna start chipping away at it again. I'm like, I want to release it and just start work on the next one because I've been working on some other stuff. I'm just like, I want to be done with this and put it out in the world. But no, Fate and beta readers are not doing that. They're not letting me.
Fair. Well, I look forward to reading it. As I look forward to eventually reading Jason's stuff. I was like, well, I have to now since there's this whole thing online.
Yeah, I know it was funny.
Compared to
Jason
see
gave
which I
me
enjoy more. So
yeah, no, Jason gave me one of his books. It's Song at the End of the World, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be good. You know, Jason's always kind of going on, and I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? So I want to read it. I want to read it again. I don't know if I gave it a fair shake when I read it the first time.
I mean, it like to be fair, yeah, it was experimental. Like it
starts out pretty straightforward, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. It's a pretty weird one. I've been trying to write the sequel for that for a while, but
it was more weird than I thought it would be because he's like, oh, she's like climbing around in like bodies and stuff, and I'm just like, what the? Just the way you wrote it was just weird. I'm like, why you write it like that? It's like I think one of the lines was like, it's like an ocean of hands. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like there's like a monster that attacks her, and then I think Jason was like, oh, I think that was a dog. And I'm like, what is this? Yeah, so there you go. I get it was like the fractured psyche of this like 16-year-old girl, but it was like, I don't know. It was kind of like I was thrown off by it. I'll just say that. I was
my internet cut out. Sorry, I'm still here.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a weird experiment. Yeah. I feel like my newer stuff's more straightforward.
What's your newest?
Yeah.
Well, I've been releasing some short stories recently.
He's
a good reader of his own work. He has that nice, like, silky voice for it. You know?
Yeah, you just uploaded a video a little bit ago, right?
Yeah. I've been doing this series where it's funny. This guy on my Discord server, we got in this weird conversation about Thanksgiving and cannibalism, and then it inspired a story. And so I wrote a story about it, and then that inspired like this idea where I'm gonna write. I think it's like about 11 stories in total, with horror short stories based on each holiday or revolving around that.
Okay.
Except
Interesting.
Halloween's gonna be the one that's not horror. It's gonna feel like it's gonna be horror, but then it's gonna be like probably a feel good story just to be.
That's gonna be that's awesome.
Oh, like a wholesome story about cannibalism.
Yeah.
I went through all of Thomas Harris's works, which was a mistake. But they were fine. I prefer if you're gonna get into Hannibal, just watch the show Hannibal or Silence of the Lambs, and you're good.
Yeah.
But, speaking of cannibalism,
Yeah, I saw you were posting stuff about. So did you read the books?
yeah, I read all of them. I read the Hannibal Rising, god awful. I read Hannibal, which was god awful. I read the Red Dragon, which is all right, and Silence of the Lambs, which is good. But if you've watched the movie, it's kind of like I've already seen the movie. So, but Hannibal, the TV show, is absolute art, and I think beats that film and all the books. I think that is the quintessential. If you want to experience Hannibal, you watch the show. I think it's almost perfect, except for the first half of season 3 and this plot B of season 2, and that's only because it is being faithful and adapting Hannibal stuff, which is the worst book of them all. Or well, Hannibal Rising's worse, but so.
I was about to say,
So,
yeah, Red Dragon, banger. Silence of the Lambs, really good. And then Hannibal Rising and Hannibal, I just pretend they don't exist because those are not good books.
Well, Hannibal Rising is also redundant because everything you need to know is told in Hannibal in terms of his back. I mean, you don't need to know his backstory, but if you're going to tell us, they already tell us in Hannibal. And everything in Hannibal Rising is that plus stuff that you don't care about. So.
It's also
well, I
just
got to
like,
take off, guys. Good talking to you.
all
Bill.
right.
Have a
Nice
good
meeting
one.
you.
Take care,
Yeah, nice meeting
Jason.
you, Alex. Take it easy.
Too.
No, it's just you and me, Alex. And also John A. Douglas is here. How you doing, John? I haven't seen you in a while. I know you've been I know you were punished by the algorithm for whatever reason. I don't know. I did see you covered Jane Eyre recently. What'd you think of that?
Well, chronologically, it was a while ago, but I really enjoyed Jane Eyre. I had to do a scene I go to this acting class, and I don't know what show it's from, but these two people
Beaten
are
like a government mule.
but these two people were kind of like flirting and talking, and then the guy at the end of the scene, he sees that she has Jane Eyre like at her desk, and so he says a quote from it. And so I put it upon myself to be like, well, no one's asked me to do this, but for homework, I'm just going to read the entire book so I can be like the character and actually know what I'm talking about. So I read the whole book, and I personally prefer it over to Wuthering Heights. I think I said in my review.
Yeah. Did you read Wuthering Heights? What'd you think of that?
I like Wuthering Heights.
That's funny. Jason just left, but he read Wuthering Heights, and he was like, "It's all right," you know.
Yeah. I don't like the writing as much. I think the story is far more exciting and interesting. I think Jane Eyre has better writing, but the story is a little bit more calm. I mean, there is a crazy moments in there with Heathcliff, with Rochester and his.
Oh, geez. Well, that's well, watching Silence of the Lambs. That's not a.
My uncle knocked on my front door and literally killed me. Yeah, you don't magically grow eyes back. Well, he doesn't grow his eyes back, does he? It's just that Jane takes care of him. I thought that's what happened. Oh, he did in the last moment get his eyesight back. It was like, well, it was supposed to be like the grace of God or whatever, but miracles and all that stuff. But I really enjoyed, even though it's a bit toxic, I enjoyed their relationship. I think there's a lot of heartfelt moments. I think Woman on BookTube. I don't think they're wrong.
Oh man, Spain won it all.
Hello, how you doing? I think that Rochester gets a bad rep. I don't know what I would do in his situation back then, because typically if your wife is crazy, what you do to you put them in an insane asylum where they don't treat you very well. So he did a not so great thing but I think in his mind was better than the alternative is keep her locked up in the attic. But he did
Isn't it
beat
the
her.
one he like? I thought I saw this clip from the movie. Isn't that the one he treats like a dog or something like that?
No, that's Wuthering Heights, and that's
Oh.
only in the movie. That's not in the book.
Oh, that's not in the book? Oh, okay. I'm like, what
No,
is it with fucking Jacob Elordi and like dog fetish stuff? Like it's
the,
just
the movie has nothing to do with the book outside the two characters' names. I mean, first off,
yeah, no, the movie just feels kind of like
Heathcliff
weird
should be.
gooner Yas Queen type of stuff, you know.
I don't care what race Heathcliff is, but he can't be white. It's integral to his character. You can make him black, you can make him Indian, you can make him Mexican, but he cannot be white because his entire character arc revolves around the fact that people don't like him because of his skin color, and he turns into a bad guy because of it. Like the first half of Wuthering Heights, you're like on his side, but then he starts, like harming people who have nothing to do with his abuse. You're like, okay, well, this is what makes you a villain because you just be mad at everybody now. But it's like integral his race, which is a bit ambiguous, but he's very clearly someone of dark complexion. And it's just Jacob Elordi in the movie, so it's the first sin. But it's also not about the romance. I mean, there's romance in it, but it's mainly a story about revenge, and the dangers of revenge, and allowing your hatred to last generations. So I think all that's really good.
Yeah, I thought Heathcliff was just a gooner, and I'm like, I don't really want to watch this. I don't really want to read this book.
Only what the movie would tell you. The romance of Heathcliff and the girl is like 10% of the book. Like half the book is after she's dead. So it's not a big spoiler. She does pass away, but and then he starts being mean to like the children after the fact. So it's like it's a whole thing. The movie's dealing with like a certain portion of the book. When the book's like this much, they're covering this. I do like Rochester. I think he has his issues, but he is overall. I believe the romance between Jane Eyre and Rochester, and I think he's trying to be a good person. In fact, by the end of the book, there's the house is burning down, and it's not emphasized, but like he makes sure to go out and get everybody out for himself. And at the end of the day, no matter his faults, like in the stressful moment like that, you learn what a person truly is like, and that's what he chose to do in a stressful situation, was make sure everyone else was okay. So,
you know what I want to read? I mean, I know the story, but I'd love to read Pride and Prejudice at some point. That's kind of the Regency. That's the Regency romance I want to read before I die.
I really enjoy the witty banter that a lot of movies and books do nowadays with romance people, but Jane Austen did it first with those two characters in Pride and Prejudice, and I really love whenever they're like, I think there's a specific part, because I forget the exact dialogue, but he's like, or she's talking about like.
And also, they're putting out a new movie for one of Austen's other books. I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe I'll have to try give like Pride and Prejudice a proper try at some point.
Yeah, but she's saying something about women and stuff, and because he has like this high like ideal of what he wants in a wife or whatever, and how like no one really matches it, and he's like, she's something about like, do you require everyone to be of this high standard or something like that? And his retort or something is like, do you not think woman capable of such things? And then she just kind of shuts up after that, or something. It was something like that. And I was like, oh, I love the little witty back and forth there. It's nice.
Yeah.
And also, it is truly like they both have the wrong perceptions of each other from the beginning of the novel, and it's none of the characters are bad people. They make assumptions that they shouldn't make, and that's I think that's important for all times.
Yeah, and I think the whole twist is that the guy's kind of a jackass, but he's actually like a good dude deep down, and then there's this other guy who's super charming, and he's actually an asshole. Something like that.
Yeah, well, there is a guy that's an asshole, but yeah, I mean, he's just kind of like, I don't want to say like goth, but he's just kind of like standoffish. But like the people he really cares about, they all speak highly of him, because if he cares about you, you'll see it. It's just he's just very closed off to people he doesn't know or doesn't care to get to know. So So when you're that closed off and people make rumors that you're a bad person, it's like, well, that's easy to believe because he doesn't really talk to me. So he must be this horrible person. But
yeah, no, I want to read Pride and Prejudice before I exit this mortal coil.
yeah,
One of her books.
I feel like Jane Austen is you got to go through all of her works because I feel like so much literature has been influenced by her works. Yeah.
But yeah, they're making another movie out of one of her books. I think it's Sense and Sensibility, what you said
It
earlier.
is Sense and Sensibility. The last one we had
Yeah.
was like in the 90s with Alan Rickman.
Yeah, it is.
Max.
And Daisy Edgar Jones is playing the lady, the one lady. I don't know her name. I don't know her name. But I saw a trailer. I'm like, oh, look, they're actually making a good like historical film finally. This actually looks good. And then it turns out it's an adaptation of another book.
A few years ago, we got Little Woman with Timothy Chalamet.
That's true, yeah, and it actually looked really good. And I didn't see it because I was busy with other things.
Yeah, I need to read Little Woman just because I've seen every other Timothy
Who else
Chalamet
did that,
film.
Tharnall? Let me know. Yeah, it's made by this lady called Georgia Oakley, who made another movie called Blue Jean. Oh, Jonah Hex. He read. That's impressive. I wouldn't have expected him.
I know of Jonah Hex only because of the Arrowverse show.
You were saying earlier from Hellblazer. If you read any, if you read any Hellblazer, I find Garth Ennis's Hellblazer is like great. So
yeah, I mean it's like 300 issues, so I was just gonna start from the beginning and make my way forward. Also, despite the controversy, I am going to read the Sandman because every time I see something pop up on YouTube about it, it hits something in my brain, and it just seems like something that will suit me. So
Sandman's great.
yeah,
It's probably my favorite Neil Gaiman work aside from American Gods. Though you will notice the Swamp Thing influence because you mentioned you read Alan Moore's Saga of the Swamp Thing. You'll definitely tell, especially at the beginning, he was deeply influenced by that. So,
and then Lucifer will also be read because, of course, it just coincides with all that. So, because I'm not a big DC Marvel comic book guy, but I read a handful of things that people suggest when it comes to Superman and Batman and all that stuff. But only thing I've really deep dived in, it seems to be, is this weird niche corner of the DC universe. You know, so.
Damn, Jane Austen only lived to 41. That is unfortunate, man.
Sandman, Lucifer, and The Dreaming. Okay, I will do it in that order. I'm gonna read. I think the plan is to read Hellblazer up into the 90s when Sandman starts, and then to hold off on the rest of Hellblazer till I finish Sandman and Lucifer and all that.
I'm trying to. I guess with Jane Austen, she's just really well known for the Regency romances. That's what I was trying to say.
She also made a Gothic work with Northanger Abbey, which was sort of a parody of the Gothic literature at the time.
Yeah, I heard she's really funny too. I've heard that.
She is pretty funny, at least from Pride and Prejudice. But it's sort of that like British dry humor a lot of the time. I think it's more of like a George Carlin. I don't know if there's anything that's, at least from Pride and Prejudice, that made me like laugh out loud. But it's like, that's funny.
She's like, yeah, how quaint.
How do you feel about George Carlin when he says
I love George Carlin. He's great.
Yeah.
Though he did get a little rant. He got more ranty as he got older.
Yeah, he kind of just became like an atheist sermon. Not specifically atheism, but he goes up and just like kind of rants for 2 hours. It's like,
yeah, and you're just like, oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
But like that stuff he did in like the 80s and 90s, you know, where it's like him and he's all bearded up and he's good to go. Like that's great. That's really great stuff.
It is.
It's like the early Dave Chappelle, like just like those first two like stand-up specials he did in like the early 2000s. They're both excellent. Like I always recommend them to people. And then like the lesser ones, it's just him kind of it's just not the same, you know. It's just him ranting at the audience.
I miss Norm Macdonald. He was great. No one's like Norm Macdonald anymore.
Well said, exactly.
His name is Rick, folks, and you're not a part of it. It's a big game. It's a big party, and you ain't in it.
Yeah.
Bread and circus.
Yeah, no, he's great. I do like a lot. It's weird thing. It's always that way with stand up. I find it's like they usually like die early or they like burn out as they get older.
Yeah.
Or just become like parodies of themselves after a while.
Yeah. I think Norm Macdonald was pretty consistent. He just unfortunately got cancer and died.
I didn't see a lot of Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. He always a very specific, I don't know how to even describe it, humor. Like
His OJ stuff's pretty funny. I like,
yeah.
you know.
He was on was it with, I don't know if it was Conan or Jimmy Fallon, but he was, or no, it was somebody else entirely. It was like David Letterman or something. I forget. One of those talk show guys. And they go on this, he goes on this whole thing about like, oh, I'm deeply closeted. And then he goes like, what, you're a gay man? He's like, no, I said I'm deeply closeted. He goes, and he just looks really confused. So he's like, so you're a gay man and you won't admit it. And he goes, no. If you're in the closet, you're saying that you're not gay. I'm deeply closeted. But he says it like so like straight. Like the whole time. It's really funny.
Damn. Anyway. Yeah, no, I'm not really a fan of like talk show stuff like Jimmy Kimmel.
Well,
Not
he's not a
really.
talk show person. I just meant he was being interviewed on a talk show and he was making a
Jimmy
joke.
Fallon.
Yeah. I'm not a big on them either. I don't really watch them.
Seth Meyers is pretty cool. Like he'll talk to like writers and stuff. So I respect him for that, but I don't really watch his show all that much. I just find they're all the same.
They're kind of all the same. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, didn't you know Trump is kind of dumb? Yuck, yuck, yuck. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I've suffered for 10 years with the Trump books. Or not the Trump books, I mean the Trump presidency. So, you know, you don't need to tell me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need to hear it again.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like the politics stuff used to be so simple. And now it's like you get older, you learn more, and then you also have the Epstein files come out a few years ago or for last year, and you're like, wow.
And what's funny, I read
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I read this book called Everybody Knows recently, and the villain is literally like Jeffrey Epstein. Like not even like the villains are literally Jeffrey Epstein and like Dan Schneider of Nickelodeon fame.
Yeah.
That was so funny. I'm like, damn, he was really on to something. That was only like 3 years ago when he wrote that, when he put that out. Yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh man, yeah, Eyes Wide Shut is.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I saw a post from Grant Morrison on his Substack the other day, and he was kind of like ranting about Stanley Kubrick death conspiracy theories. I'm like, look, guys, Eyes Wide Shut's pretty tame in comparison to other like what weird rich people get up to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you know, that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the conspiracy theories just come from the fact that like 30 minutes were cut out. And who knows what was even in those 30 minutes, but people love to speculate. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's funny because we were getting like similar movies like around the same time because I think a year later or 2 years later you got like The Ninth Circle with Johnny Depp, which is also very similar sort of premise. So.
A lot of rich people conspiracy movies in the late 90s.
I know. I don't know what's up with that. But, I love conspiracies in terms of like being used for a narrative. I think like there's a video game called Deus Ex, which I think does it expertly well.
Oh yeah, I've seen you share stuff with me about
Yeah.
that. I've not played those games, but
yeah, but like sometimes you feel like, dang, like what am I? Am I playing a game or am I just being like shoved with a bunch of
It
like,
only gets kind of obnoxious when you have like the ancient aliens type of conspiracy theorists where it's like
yeah,
everything was made by aliens, and I'm just like,
brown people can't
no,
make pyramids. It had to be aliens.
exactly. It's like brown
Clearly.
people made the pyramids? No.
No, it
Had to
had
have
to
been
be
aliens.
aliens, guys.
So stupid. Yeah, I still think my favorite, like, just takedown of ancient aliens was from Alternate History Hub. He's just like, yeah, it's literally just a religion at this point.
Yeah.
But it looks like things are quieting down, though, so I'm probably going to take off, and also I'm probably need to walk her. Hopefully
Fair
she's
enough.
still alive. But yeah,
Well,
thank you, Alex, for joining me, because I was like, damn, this is going to be another just hour one where I just sit around and talk for an hour and then I leave. But then Jason and you popped in, so that's nice. But yeah, thank you,
yeah,
Alex.
usually I can't because I'm at work, but then that happened, so I was here, so I could
You
do
just told your boss, you're like, yeah, I'm not. No.
I
Someone
was just like,
broke in my
well,
car.
my window's broken and there's glass everywhere, so I'm probably have to go take that in today. So probably not gonna make it. So I did, but yeah, second time it's happened too. Crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, just my luck. It's okay though. Life could be a lot worse.
Anyway, I am
That's-
probably going to take off though, because
All
again,
right.
I'm watching over my animals, so I'm gonna have to see what they're up to. But yeah, thank you everyone who joined in and hung out for a while. Glad that Spain won the World Cup, even though I don't watch soccer at all.
Yeah.
So
People
yeah.
say the same thing to me. What did you think of the game? I don't watch. I don't know. So.
Anyway, will we have this next week? Probably. I don't know, but hopefully it'll be at the regular time again. I had to start later today because I was just running all over the place earlier today. But anyway. So well, until next time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys later.